Is this $99 Fifine Tank 1 a real competitor to the $439 Shure SM7B? Well, for this video, I've recorded an entire pop-punk song using only these two microphones on things like drums, bass guitar, electric guitar, and vocals. The results did shock me, so stick around. By the end of the video, you'll know whether it's worth it going for the expensive industry standard in the Shure SM7B, or you might want to take a look at the Fifine Tank 1. First things first, let's start with the drum tracks. You'll notice on screen the blue tracks are the Shure SM7B and the red tracks are the Fifine Tank 1. I've got two drum tracks selected. Anytime I'm recording, I'm trying to use this stereo bar, so I have both microphones placed on this. For my drums track, it's essentially going to be an overhead, everything minus the kick drum. So I performed on the drums using just my hands. You'll see the drum mics are just over my right shoulder, pretty much pointed at the snare drum. That's going to capture the snare, the cymbals, and the toms. And then I did a separate track, another take through the song where I moved the microphones in front of the kick drum, again, so I can capture both microphones on the same performance. So let's start off listening to the Shure SM7B, and then I'll switch to the Fifine Tank 1. All right, now we're going to go back to the SM7B and I'm going to bypass all of this processing. So very important for you to know that all of the tracks have the same plugins on them. So anything I'm doing to the Shure SM7B, whether that's EQ, compression, or reverb, the exact same thing is happening to the Fifine Tank 1. I bust all of my tracks into a bus system. So anything I'm applying to my drums bus, that is both affecting the SM7B and the Tank 1. But let's just go ahead and bypass the plugins so you can hear the raw audio tracks. Before we go further in the video, I'd like to know what you think about both of these microphones. Let me know in the comment section. And if you haven't hit the like button already, make sure you like and subscribe before the video is over. Now let's keep going. There's no samples being used. And like I said before, we don't have any close mic happening. So you're going to hear definitely more of a room sound. But all in all, very impressed that so far with the drums, I'm pretty much hearing the same thing from the Fifine Tank 1 as I am the Shure SM7B. Next, we need to talk about the bass guitar. So I did something that's usually not done that much anymore. I actually mic'd up a bass amp to record the bass guitar. I've got this Fender Bassman, which is actually a solid state made in Japan Fender Bassman. There's no tubes in this thing whatsoever, but I do think it does sound really good and I like it. So I've got a cabinet here at home in the closet, and on the cabinet, there are two 10-inch Celestion speakers. So whenever you're micing up a cabinet, this is where you can come into some problems if the microphones are not generally in the same location. So if you're at the center of the speaker cone, that's definitely going to be the brightest sound. As you start moving away from the center of the speaker, you start getting toward the outside rim, it's definitely going to sound a little bit duller. So it's very important trying to put the microphones in the same position. I did try to do the best that I could. All intents and purposes, everything is pretty loud in this room when I'm recording with the cabinet, so I was very happy with the tones I was getting. Let's jump into the bass guitar. Again, we'll start with the Shure, and then we'll move over to the Fifine Tank 1. Here I can definitely notice there is a difference in the amount of frequencies that are being picked up by the microphones. It definitely doesn't mean at this point that the Fifine is just unusable, but it could come down to the specific cabinet and the way that I'm miking up the amp. I really wanted to make sure I captured the same performance with both. So again, it's not like you're hearing me record the SM7B, take the microphone out, put the Fifine in, and then record another pass. These are the exact same performances, but when you're miking up a cabinet, even a matter of just 1 or 2 inches can drastically influence the tone that you're getting. I definitely think they both sound usable. You are hearing some compression being added to the bass guitar, but all in all, the Fifine, just from listening to what is being put out there, the Fifine sounds like it's a little bit more scooped in the mid-range. There are some adjustments it does have on this microphone. If you want to add kind of a mid-range bump, you can flip in this switch here, or if you want to use a low-cut filter, you can also put a low-cut filter in place. I think the main purpose of the Fifine Tank 1 is going to come down to podcasts. They're really aiming at podcasters out there, so I'm definitely putting it to the test by miking up a cabinet here at home, but make use of the mid-range bump if you need to, if you feel like it's a little too crispy or it's missing those mids. Everything that I've recorded up until this point, vocals, guitars, drums, bass, everything was set to flat. So you're not hearing any of that mid-range bump whatsoever. Same thing can be said of the SM7B. Everything is set to flat. The next part is definitely going to be interesting. This is when I recorded the electric guitars. Now I'm using my Fender Stratocaster going into my tuner pedal, which is then going to a Boss DS1 distortion pedal, going to the Fender Bassman in the same cabinet that was in the closet. Now, I've actually re-recorded the electric guitars twice over because, again, I was finding this is where the big difference seemed to be happening on the cabinet. There's a drastic difference between the electric guitars. The mid-range is just very different on the Fifine than it is the SM7B. So again, let's take a listen to the Shure SM7B. I've got 3 electric guitar passes. One pass was with the Strat, which is going to be on the left ear. I then switched to my Fender Telecaster on my right ear, and then I did, for the choruses of the song, I've got a Tele right down the middle, which is doing a little bit more of octave playing. So let's take a listen to the Shure SM7B first, and then the Fifine. Again, no matter how many times I recorded or the moving, the positioning of the microphone, it seemed like the Fifine had a lot brighter frequency response than the Shure SM7B. Again, me miking up a cabinet, not something many people are doing in 2025, but that's where I'm hearing the majority of the differences. Let's go on to vocals. All right, vocals, not my favorite thing to record myself. My wife does a much better job of singing, but let's take a listen to the chorus with the Shure SM7B and then the Fifine Tank 1. Again, they have the same processing happening on both microphones.
This is Fifine, this is Fifine. I'm wondering if you can tell me the difference of this mic and this mic. This is Fifine, this is Fifine. I'm wondering if you can tell me the difference of this mic and this mic.
Let's go back on the vocal and take off the processing, so you're not going to hear any of the EQ or compression, just on the lead vocal bus. I'm going to take that off and also bypass what's on the mix bus.
This is Fifine, this is Fifine. I'm wondering if you can tell me the difference of this mic and this mic. This is Fifine, this is Fifine. I'm wondering if you can tell me the difference of this mic and this mic.
Both of them have the waves tune real time with the exact same settings on both. Now, just for fun, let's take a listen to the drums, bass, electric guitar, and vocal. We'll start with the Shure SM7B, and then you'll hear the Fifine.
This is Fifine, this is Fifine. I'm wondering if you can tell me the difference of this mic and this mic. It's the Shure. This is Fifine, this is Fifine. I'm wondering if you can tell me the difference of this mic and this mic. It's the Shure mic. It's the
Those of you that are looking for a podcast solution, have no fear. Here is me speaking into first the Shure SM7B, and then I'll switch to the Fifine Tank 1. Hey everyone, this is Chris Green. You're watching Making Music with Chris Green here on YouTube. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons for more videos just like this. Hey everyone, this is Chris Green. You're watching Making Music with Chris Green here on YouTube. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons for more videos just like this. So when it comes down to it, I definitely think that if you're in the market and you haven't experienced a Shure SM7B, I could understand you wanting to get an SM7B because it is pretty much like an industry standard when it comes to home studios, where you see Joe Rogan using an SM7B and you think you need an SM7B as well. I totally get that, but the fact that this is under $100 and this one is right at like 430 something, I definitely don't think that this microphone is 4 times the quality of this microphone. If you have no experience with the SM7B and all you had was the Tank 1, I'd definitely say you're not missing out on any sort of experience by getting the SM7B, but that's totally up to you. What I can't speak for is the long-term quality of the Tank 1, because honestly, like, a Fifine is not a company that I'm as familiar with as I am a Shure or a Sennheiser or even Warm Audio. So when it comes down to quality, I'd be interested in how this holds up in the months and years to come. But if I'm just comparing these two microphones together today, I definitely think the Tank 1 has a strong leg up on the SM7B, if only because of the price, but also the build quality. These two microphones are so similar in weight, so heavy, in fact, that I'm pretty sure if I looked at components and I knew what I was looking at, I wouldn't be surprised that this is the exact same microphone on the inside as this one is. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit the like and subscribe buttons, and I'll see you in the next one.